Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. 3 days ago, Jasmine Pineda, the star of TLC's 90 Day Fiancé, was sentenced to 3 months in prison for not paying her ex-husband Gino Palazzolo $100,000 as directed by the court. Palazzolo filed a case against Pineda for fraud and slander, and there was an incident in court where Pineda is said to have insulted the judge. Her mugshot has since gone viral, and people have had different reactions to it. This article looks at how their relationship fell apart, the legal drama, and what the public thought. Jasmine Pineda became famous very quickly. TLC's 90 Day Fiancé introduced her to viewers as a passionate, opinionated Panamanian woman, and she rapidly became one of the show's most controversial characters. Her relationship with Gino Palazzolo, a quiet car engineer from Michigan, was full of ups and downs. They had a lot of chemistry, but they also had a lot of problems. People were drawn to Jasmine's fiery demeanor as soon as she came on television. She was shamelessly herself, jealous, affectionate, dramatic, and very protective of her relationship. Gino, on the other hand, was shy, awkward, and often felt overwhelmed by Jasmine's strong feelings. Their relationship made for great TV, but things were falling apart behind the scenes. As the story went on, spectators saw fights that ended in tears, and moments of real love. But stories of cheating, money problems, and emotional manipulation started to spread. It began out as a love story, but quickly developed into a warning message. 3 weeks ago, it was big news in the world of reality TV that Gino Palazzolo had sued Jasmine Pineda. The lawsuit asked for $100,000 in damages and said Jasmine had lied and committed fraud. Gino said in court papers that Jasmine lied about money matters during their relationship and made public statements that hurt his reputation. In the world of 90 Day Fiancé, this lawsuit was one of a kind. There has been a lot of turmoil among the cast members, but not many have sued each other. Gino's choice to sue changed everything, not just in their own story, but also in how others think about relationships on reality TV. Lawyers said the case had substance and gave their opinions. If Jasmine is found guilty of fraud and slander, it might have major effects on her career for a long time. The court told Jasmine to pay the $100,000, but she didn't do what they asked. Jasmine Pineda went to court on October 24, 2025. What was supposed to be a normal hearing soon turned into a mess. Eyewitnesses said that Jasmine came in looking upset and refused to accept that the proceedings were real. When challenged about the payment, she allegedly went on a rant, saying that the court was unfair and Gino was trying to control things. People who were there were shocked by how she acted. Jasmine didn't exhibit any regret or willingness to cooperate. Instead, she ridiculed the judge, made fun of the judicial system, and refused to pay the ordered sum. The courtroom, which used to be a place of order, became a stage for Jasmine's resistance. The judge put Jasmine to prison for 3 months for not following the rules and showing disrespect for the court. The choice was quick and clear. Jasmine was led out of the courthouse in handcuffs, and her actions had sealed her fate. Jasmine's mugshot was out hours after she was sentenced. The picture of woman in a regular orange jumpsuit with a rebellious look on her face went viral on social media. Accounts on Instagram that are all about 90 Day Fiancé shared the picture, and fans flooded the comments with their thoughts. Some people said they felt sorry for Jasmine and thought she was under a lot of stress and needed help. Others were less forgiving and pointed to her history of unpredictable conduct and cheating. The mugshot became a symbol of her fall from grace, which was a big change from the glossy influencer image she used to have. The picture triggered discussions about celebrity, responsibility, and what happens when you live in public. For a lot of people, it was a moment of truth, a reminder that the law doesn't protect reality TV stars. The public's reaction was mostly because cheating accusations came up again. Gino had hinted at trust concerns in their relationship, and fans wondered if Jasmine was cheating on him. There was never a clear confirmation on the show, but reports and messages that got out said that Jasmine had cheated. The lawsuit and sentencing gave these claims new life. For a lot of admirers, the prison sentence was the end of years of drama, treachery, and stress that had never been resolved. Jasmine's refusal to pay the court-ordered amount and her outburst in court only made things worse. There were a lot of speculations, screenshots, and old clips going around on social media. Fans looked at every part of their relationship to see if there were any evidence of cheating. The story of Jasmine infidelity, which used to be a subplot, became the main part of her public image. After Jasmine was sentenced, Gino Palazzolo, who is known for being quiet, made a short statement. "I just want to move on," he remarked. He wanted to move on, put the turmoil behind him, and get his life back. People had different opinions. Some supporters supported Gino, admiring his strength and legal win. Some people said that both sides were wrong and that their bad relationship should never have been shown on TV. The larger 90-Day Fiancé community had to deal with issues of accountability, fame, and the effects of being on reality TV. People fought in the comments sections. People who supported Jasmine said she had been emotionally abused and that there were cultural misunderstandings. People who didn't like her referred to her actions and said she had gone too far. The lines were formed, and the argument was furious. After Jasmine's punishment, TLC, the network that airs 90-Day Fiancé, didn't say anything. But insiders said that her legal problems could affect future appearances or spin-offs. The network has been criticized in the past for giving problematic people a platform, and Jasmine's situation made that criticism even stronger. Other actors had something to say. Some others showed support in secret, while others openly distanced themselves. The event led to discussions on the morality of reality TV and the duty networks have to their stars. Producers had to answer challenging questions, such whether or not they should have stepped in. Did they use Jasmine's mood swings to get more viewers? The answers were complicated, and the effects were just starting to show. The story of Jasmine Pineda is more than just a tabloid headline. It's a warning about fame, responsibility, and making decisions. Her rise and fall show how unpredictable reality TV can be, where private strife becomes public spectacle. Fans and critics alike will have to think about the route that brought her here as she serves her time. Jasmine's life has been like a written epic, with everything from romantic adventures to judicial drama. But this time, the results are genuine. Her experience reminds us that fame doesn't last, and that actions have repercussions. Jasmine Pineda had to spend 3 months in jail for being defiant, and her life will never be the same again. The courthouse may have closed its doors on Jasmine Pineda's sentencing, but the drama surrounding her time in jail is far from over. After her 3-month prison sentence, the world of reality TV has been rocked by a maelstrom of reactions, revelations, and reckonings. Jasmine's narrative has grown into a larger discussion about popularity, responsibility, and the emotional toll of being in a relationship on TV, from campaigns led by fans to silence from the networks. When Jasmine's mugshot went viral, it wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was a cultural event. Her stubborn look, which was lit harshly in a county jail intake photo, became famous right away. Within a few hours, dozens of fan accounts, meme pages, and gossip blogs had shared the picture again. Some admirers used the picture as a symbol of resistance and praised Jasmine for standing up to what they saw was an unfair legal system. Others made fun of her breakdown, using the picture to show what they said were years of deceptive behavior and mental instability. The mugshot was more than just a picture. It was a Rorschach test for people who watch reality TV. People had different opinions about Jasmine. Some thought she was a misunderstood lady driven to the limit, while others thought she was a warning against letting your ego and impulsiveness get out of hand. There is a lot of drama in the 90-Day Fiancé fanbase, but Jasmine's punishment has caused the community to break up in ways that have never happened before. Facebook groups, Reddit threads, and Instagram comment sections are becoming places where different stories fight for attention. The Jasmine defenders are admirers who say that she was emotionally abused, misunderstood by her culture, and unfairly persecuted by both the court and the media. They say that her passionate character, her mental health problems, and the stress of being famous are all things that make her less guilty. There are also the Gino truthers, who think Jasmine's actions were harmful, controlling, and even illegal. They say she is guilty because she didn't pay the $100,000 the court ordered. She yelled in court, and there have been long-standing claims of cheating. The split has gotten so bad that moderators of a number of fan communities have asked people to be polite and put a stop to conversations on Jasmine's legal matter for a while. But the harm is done. The fandom is split up, and the talk has changed from fun to moral issues. TLC, the network that airs 90 Day Fiancé, has been under a lot of pressure to deal with Jasmine's sentence. But the network has still not said anything days after the court's verdict. No press releases, announcements, or posts on social media. People who work at TLC say that the network is in crisis mode, considering the legal and reputational risks of having Jasmine on future episodes or spin-offs. Her tale was supposed to be a big part of the next season, but now the producers are rushing to re-edit the video and think about who to cast. People have noticed the stillness. Critics say that TLC's lack of accountability is part of a bigger pattern, putting unstable people on TV to get ratings and then pulling away when things go wrong. Jasmine's situation has brought up old arguments about the ethics of making reality TV shows and what networks owe their performers. TLC hasn't said anything yet, but other cast members from 90 Day Fiancé have started to speak out. Some people have sent cryptic comments on mental health and perseverance to show their support. Others have been rude by uploading Jasmine's mugshot again with snide captions or liking comments that call her out for her behavior. A former cast member who wanted to be anonymous said on a podcast, "We all saw this coming. Jasmine was always on edge. The producers recognized it and kept pressing her buttons." Another cast member, who is known for her own problematic tale, tweeted, "Reality TV isn't real life. But the results are quite real." The mixed comments show how complicated the 90-day environment is, where cast members are both friends and enemies, co-workers and competitors. People are using Jasmine's fall as a test of devotion, empathy, and self-preservation. Jasmine's punishment is only 3 months long, but the legal effects could last much longer. If she doesn't pay the $100,000 in damages that Gino's lawsuit says she has to, she could face more civil penalties, wage garnishments, or even more legal action. Legal experts say that allegations of contempt of court, especially those involving fraud and defamation, can have long-term implications on a person's job and finances. Jasmine might have trouble getting brand deals, sponsorships, or TV contracts in the future. Also, her behavior in court, when she insulted the judge and refused to follow the rules, has made people question her legal approach. Did she get bad advice? Are you acting on impulse? Or taking a stand on purpose? No matter what the reason, the results are real. Jasmine's legal problems are no longer just a side tale. They are the main story. There is a deeper concern than the legal and fan drama. What does Jasmine's story reveal about how reality TV affects people's emotions? Media psychology experts say that reality TV typically uses people's emotional weaknesses to make them laugh. They put cast members in high-stress circumstances, tell them to talk about their personal traumas, and edit the show to make it as dramatic as possible. What happened? Yes, fame, but also stress, breakdowns, and in Jasmine's case, jail time. Dr. Elena Martinez, a psychologist who studies media trauma, says, "Reality TV stars are often thrown into the spotlight without enough help. People praise them for their shortcomings, but then they get in trouble when those weaknesses become problems." Jasmine's narrative matches the mold. People loved her fiery nature, but it also made her a target. Her emotional ups and downs caused ratings to go up, but they also got her in trouble with the law. The border between entertainment and exploitation has never been so thin. Some fans and commentators are already talking about Jasmine's return, even though she is still serving her sentence. There have been redemption storylines on reality TV for a long time. Cast members who fall from grace come back with new stories of growth and recovery. Is it possible for Jasmine to go that way? It may happen. Her biography has all the elements of a classic redemption story. A public fall from grace, complicated emotions, and a fiercely committed fan base. But the path to redemption is hard. Jasmine would have to deal with the legal problems, make up with Gino, or at least admit the damage publicly, and show that she has really changed. She would also have to deal with the delicate world of public opinion, where forgiveness is often short-lived and conditional. But for now, redemption is still a long way off. Jasmine's present is marked by captivity, conflict, and introspection. Jasmine's story is all over the news, but Gino Palazzolo is less well-known in the story. His lawsuit worked, his reputation is probably restored, and he can move on. But is he? People who know Gino say that winning the case came at a personal cost. The romance, the public scrutiny, and the judicial drama have all left scars on the heart. Gino may have won the case, but it has altered him. In interviews, he has stayed calm and avoided using language that could make people angry or happy. He said, "I just want closure," which says a lot. Some followers have praised Gino for his self-control, saying he is a good example of decency and strength. Some people doubt his reasons, saying that the case was as much about getting back at someone as it was about getting justice. No matter what the reality is, Gino played a part in Jasmine's collapse. He was the one who started the legal process, the plaintiff, and the ex-partner whose actions set things in motion. The 90-Day Fiancé franchise is at a crossroads now that the dust has settled. The sentence for Jasmine is more than simply a scandal, it's a warning. The show's producers, casting directors, and executives need to think about what their decisions will mean. Will they change how they check people out? Give better help for mental health? Think about how they edit and show relationships that are unstable? Some people who work there say yes. Some others are doubtful, pointing out that controversy brings in viewers and ratings bring in money. Even though Jasmine's story is sad, it has gotten a lot of attention, which is something that networks almost always pay attention to. The public conversation is still changing, though. People who watch are asking tougher questions, holding people accountable, and realizing how much their entertainment costs them. Jasmine's time in jail may not last long, but it could have a lasting effect on the franchise. The narrative of Jasmine Pineda, who went from being a reality star to an inmate, is full of inconsistencies. People loved and despised her, gave her power and punished her, praised her and denounced her. Her sentence is a turning point, but it's not the end. The world is watching her as she does her time, not with the voyeuristic joy of tabloid culture, but with a complicated mix of empathy, judgment, and curiosity. Jasmine's narrative is no longer simply hers. It now belongs to the fans, the series, and the time and culture that it helped shape. Jasmine Pineda is not only a character in a TV program. She is a symbol of how hard it is to tell the difference between reality and performance, celebrity and infamy, and justice and spectacle. And her story is still going on. Jasmine Pineda's life has transformed in ways she never thought possible since she went to prison 3 weeks ago. She used to be a lively person on reality TV, but now she spends her days in a correctional facility without the glitz, the cameras, or the well-maintained social media presence that used to define her. The change is shocking, and for both fans and critics, it's a frightening reminder of how rapidly fame can fade. Inside the building, Jasmine is said to be living in a medium-security women's section. People who know how the prison works say that there is a rigid daily schedule with early wake-ups, communal meals, restricted free time, and strict rules for behavior. The loss of authority over her own story has been hard for her. Other detainees have seen her on TV, and their reactions have been divided. Some people are interested, some don't care, and a few are said to be hostile. Jasmine used to be known for her fiery attitude, but in a place where fighting has real consequences, she has had to tone it down. She is learning how to live in a world where status doesn't matter, and survival depends on being able to change. The mental toll is getting worse. Experts in prison psychology say that the first month of being in prison is usually the worst, especially for famous people. Going from public life to prison all of a sudden can make people anxious, depressed, and question their identity. The change has been very hard for Jasmine, whose sense of self-worth was closely related to how she looked in public. Fans have sent in a lot of letters, some of which are nice and others of which are mean. It is said that the prison's mailroom checks each piece of mail, and Jasmine is only allowed to read a few. The messages go from genuine support to severe criticism. One fan said, "You were my favorite. I hope this teaches you something," one person said. Another person just remarked, "You got what you deserved." These letters show how divided the public is on Jasmine. Her tale is still making news outside of prison. Tabloids guess about her mental state, influencers argue about her legacy, and former castmates make vague comments that add to the drama. Jasmine may not be physically close to anyone, but she is still a big part of the cultural debate. Gino Palazzolo, on the other hand, has stayed out of the spotlight. He has reportedly turned down invitations for interviews and stayed out of the public eye. People who know him well say he's focused on rebuilding his life, and staying away from the turmoil that used to take up all his time. People have different ideas about why he hasn't said anything. Some think it's because he wants to be dignified, while others think it's because he wants to be strategic. Legal experts are still looking into the case. Jasmine still hasn't paid the $100,000 judgment, and her contempt of court charge might make things worse. If she keeps refusing to follow the rules when she gets out, she may face more punishment. The court battle is far from done, and both sides are still dealing with the effects. People say that Jasmine has started going to group therapy sessions again in prison. These programs are a big part of rehabilitation efforts because they help convicts deal with trauma and learn how to cope. For Jasmine, they provide her a rare chance to think about herself and face the decisions that brought her here. She is said to have talked about the stress of being famous, the end of her relationship, and the time she recognized she had lost control in one session. "I thought I was winning," she said, according to someone who knows the program. "But I was just getting by." These times when Jasmine is weak are very different from the way she used to be. She was brave, honest, and unrepentant on TV. She is learning to be quiet, think, and be careful while in prison. The change is huge, and for those who have followed her path, it is both devastating and eye-opening. Advocacy groups have started to pay attention to what's going on outside the institution. Some people say that Jasmine's case shows how important it is to have better support systems for reality TV stars. They say that there aren't enough mental health resources, that the production is exploitative, and that there isn't any counseling after the show. They say that Jasmine's problems are not only her own, but also part of a bigger problem. Some people disagree, saying that Jasmine made her choices and must deal with the results. They see her sentence as a win for accountability and a lesson that being famous doesn't mean you can break the law. The lines are drawn and the discussion is strong. Social media is still a battleground. Fan accounts give updates every day, going over every rumor and making guesses regarding Jasmine's future. Some people have started campaigns asking for her release, saying that she is in emotional pain and being treated unfairly. Some others have made hashtags to celebrate her being in jail, saying it is justice served. The polarization is really strong, and it shows a change in culture as a whole. Reality TV stars are no longer just people who entertain us. They are also symbols and avatars for public discussions about morality, justice, and identity. Jasmine Pineda, who used to be a character in a love tale, is now an example of how stardom can be short-lived. According to reports, Jasmine has started writing in a journal while in prison. Psychologists say that writing can be good for your mental health since it helps you deal with your feelings and feel like you have control over your life again. People say that her private entries are honest and thoughtful. She writes about feeling bad about things, being strong, and wanting to be understood. One entry says, "I was loud because I was scared. I was proud because I was hurt. I was incorrect, but I didn't know how to tell it." These words give us a look at how Jasmine's self-awareness is changing. They hint that a lady is trying to make sense of her history while being punished. It is not clear if this self-reflection will lead to change. TLC is under more and more criticism, though. Fans, journalists, and those who work in the industry have all blasted the network for not saying anything. Some want a statement, while others want modifications to the rules. The question is, what does a network have to do when its stars break up? It is said that producers had meetings to talk about what happened. Some of the options are to make a public statement, start a mental health program, or just silently distance the company from Jasmine. The stakes are enormous, and the choices taken now could have a big effect on the future of the franchise. Other members of the cast have started to talk more openly. One former star wrote, "We're not characters. We're human beings." Someone else said, "I hope Jasmine finds peace. But I also hope that the business learns something." These voices make the discourse more interesting. They remind people that there is a human person behind every dramatic scenario, dealing with real feelings. Jasmine's tale is not the only one like it. It's part of a cycle of celebrity, stress, failure, and consequences. As Jasmine's sentence comes to an end, people are starting to wonder when she will be set free. Will she say something? Will she go back to social media? Will she try to make up for what she did wrong or stay out of the spotlight? She is still quiet for now. She only sees the walls of a prison, and her days are filled with routine and thinking. But outside, people keep talking, judging, and wondering. The journey of Jasmine Pineda is not ended yet. Her time in prison is a traumatic, life-changing chapter in a saga that is still going on. It is still unclear if she will come out altered, rebellious, or broken. It's apparent that her narrative has struck a chord. It has made fans, networks, and society face hard facts about celebrity, responsibility, and the cost of entertainment on people. And in that fight, there is a chance, though small, that things will change. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.